Hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you found your way here. This channel is dedicated to discussing Alcoholics Anonymous, a topic that is near and dear to my heart. As someone who has personally struggled with addiction and gone through the process of recovery, I know how challenging and overwhelming it can be to navigate this journey. But I also know that recovery is possible, and that there is hope for everyone who is struggling with addiction. Through this channel, I hope to provide a safe and supportive space for those seeking guidance and encouragement on their own journey to recovery. My approach is grounded in empathy, research, and personal experience. I believe that healing is a collaborative process, and that we all have something to offer in the pursuit of a healthier, happier life. Whether you're a newcomer to Alcoholics Anonymous or a seasoned member, I invite you to join me in this ongoing discussion about addiction, recovery, and the power of community. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
The Unbeliever is a personal story written by a man named Jim, who shares his experience of struggling with alcoholism and finding sobriety through the help of the AA program. Jim's story is relatable to many people who struggle with addiction, as it is a candid and honest account of the destructive nature of alcoholism and the transformative power of the AA program. Jim begins his story by describing his early life, which was marked by a sense of restlessness and a desire for adventure. He spent time traveling and exploring different parts of the world, but found that his drinking often got in the way of his ability to enjoy these experiences. He began to feel like alcohol was controlling him, and that he was unable to stop drinking even when he wanted to. As Jim's drinking continued to escalate, he started to experience serious consequences. He lost his job, his health began to suffer, and he found himself in trouble with the law. Despite these negative outcomes, he still struggled to admit that he had a problem with alcohol. He saw himself as a free spirit, who didn't want to be constrained by rules or limitations. Eventually, Jim hit rock bottom and ended up in a hospital. It was there that he finally began to consider the possibility that he might be an alcoholic. He was introduced to the idea of AA and attended his first meeting, but initially remained skeptical about the program. He didn't believe that a group of people talking to each other could help him overcome his addiction. Despite his doubts, Jim continued attending AA meetings and began to hear stories from others who had been through similar struggles. He gradually began to see that there was hope for him to overcome his addiction, and he started to take the program seriously. Through the help of his sponsor and other members of the AA community, he was able to stay sober and rebuild his life. One of the key themes in The Unbeliever is the idea of surrender. Jim initially resists the idea that he has a problem with alcohol and tries to maintain control over his life. However, he ultimately realizes that his attempts to control his drinking are futile and that he needs to surrender to a higher power in order to find lasting sobriety. This is a core principle of the AA program, and it is a message that resonates with many people who struggle with addiction. Another important theme in this story is the power of community. Jim is initially skeptical of the idea that a group of people can help him overcome his addiction. But he ultimately comes to see that the support and encouragement of others is crucial to his recovery. He forms close bonds with other members of the AA community and relies on their guidance and wisdom to help him stay sober. Throughout the story, Jim is candid about his struggles with alcoholism and the impact that it had on his life. He describes the shame and guilt that he felt as a result of his drinking, as well as the fear that he would never be able to overcome his addiction. These are feelings that many people who struggle with addiction can relate to, and Jim's story offers hope and inspiration to those who may be struggling with similar challenges. In addition to offering a personal account of one man's journey to sobriety, The Unbeliever also provides insight into the AA program itself. Jim describes the importance of attending meetings, finding a sponsor, and working the steps in order to achieve lasting sobriety.